Hello, this is Burnt Out Ash, and I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to create maps or mods in Civilization 5. So in this first episode, I'll be showing you how to download and load up the maps. So here on my screen, I have the Civilization 5 SDK, and the developer's kit for Civilization. It lets you make any IDEs with ModBuddy for mods and any map you want. So if you'd like to download it, it's if you already have Civ 5 installed, just go to Tools and you'll find Civ 5 SDK on the Tools list in your game section, and download it from there, and you should be set to go. Alright, so when you open it up, if I have the shortcut here, if you open it up, it'll look like this. First, if you want to make a map, you want to hit World Builder. So I'll load that up. And so when you create Civ 5 maps, it's you create it in a view that's I'm forgetting the name of it, but it's a view that allows you to pick the certain resources, the types of tile, ocean, ground, anything like that. So here, I'll skip the video so you can see where I'll be at. Okay, so this is what it'll look like once you've loaded up. So first we want to go to New Map, and this is the standard development chart or map creator that we'll start with. And so here, I'll go over all the different options in here. So as you can see on the left side where my mouse is, this is the amount of tiles you want. So this will adjust for one side. This is the length going this way, and this will adjust the height going this way in hexagon tiles. And so every time you want to create it new, you just do that. Like if I want to make it a bit taller, I would do that. So if you do something like that, that's a really very large map, but usually I tend to go with about around 100 and around 65-ish. And that's usually roughly good if I want a larger size map. Now, if you want to create a different type of map, you have all the different options of different types of maps. There's, here I'll use Arca. Or here, let me show you Amazon. This one's usually good. Then it'll create it, and it'll generate it. And this will just be anything it would create based on the Amazon type of thing. If you did something with this, and just create something like that. So if you want to do anything like that, you can go ahead. You can fool around with that, and you can keep generating it, and it'll make any different type of map. And you just have to pick it from there. Then these options is just the world age, temperature, depending on sea level and everything like that, and type of resources. But you can fool around with that in game too. So we're going to be using a blank map to start with. So let's lower it to an 80 and let's try a 50. Let's see how that looks. Oh wait, whoops, sorry. Okay, that looks like a good size map. So once you pick out the map size you use, you don't have to use the one I picked, but whatever suits your needs for the type of map you want, hit accept map, and that'll bring us to the actual builder screen. So from here, we can edit any different part of the map that we want from any type of variety. In this episode, I'm going to show the painting aspect, which is putting down the land and everything like that. So since we have a larger size map, we can't fully see to the ends of the screen, but if we want to, we can hit world view, and that'll bring us a bit further out so we can see everything and work with. And also, if you want to see what it'll look like with the mini map, you can click on this and you can see what the map will look like in game on the mini map. So we can take a look at that later on. So in my map, I'm thinking it'll be a probably like a continents map. So usually when you start out, you usually want to use hex unless you're making some other type of map. I'm not sure. And then usually you want to start with like a huge size for this. This is just getting the basic structure of the map. So let's say I want a larger continent here, maybe going up into the corner, and maybe something around here. So usually I start with grassland, just so this is the base foundation. So let's say I want something roughly like this, something like that. And this is a very rough estimate like this. So that's the basic outline of the map. Now, then I'll usually go to medium and I'll add in a bit more detail, just so it's not a ton of detail, but just a bit more so it's not all huge hexagons. But then and do it over here too. I would suggest using these to start with because there's a certain structure you want to do when you're first making the map. So then come over back to the brush size. Then I usually take it either to small or to tiny. I think I'm going to go straight to tiny and just work out some fine details. Now you can spend a while on this. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time detailing my map, but I'll just add in a bit of detail just so you can kind of see the different types of brushes. And afterwards, because I know this looks quite dense, like as a landmass, I'm going to add in some rivers, some oceans within the continent, and I'll do that in a second. Let me just add a bit more detail over here. You can add as much or as little detail as you like. So, alright, I guess we'll start out with that. So, now this is looking a lot of the maps covered by continent. So, in the terrain type, you can select a different terrain to create with. So, let's say I want to take away some of this. I want to cut away a section of this. So, I could change it to, let's say, ocean. And then I'll change it to small size. And I'll just come in here and it'll cut it out. And let's say I just want to make a bit of an entrance little area, a bay, or that's a pretty big bay, but so that's basically what I want there. Maybe a bit of a big lakes, some other here, maybe an indent there, maybe something over here. Maybe I want to open up this a bit so get some boats through there. We're slowly adding detail in here. So then, if that's looking good, then you can come over and add in the different types of... Now, before we go ahead to the different types of the terrains, you can fool around with this as much or as little as you like. Pause the video, take a look at that. So I'm going to leave it like this. This isn't majorly detailed, but you can work it out to whatever you want to. So, next, I'm going to move on to making the different types of landscape. So, let's start with the plains. So usually, I almost always use tiny, no bigger than small, when I create the type of terrain. So once I've laid out this base thing, let's say I want this is a open plains area. Maybe I'll add in, this is just going over top of what I already had. Let's just do a little section over here, like that. And I know that's quite blocky, but let's just add a bit around everywhere. And if you look at the different types of maps, if you generate them, you can see how some things are laid out. Like deserts can sometimes be laid out in like a large chunk or spread out really widely. It all depends on the kind of map you're going for. So you can always go back, edit what you have, but I usually like to do just a bit of everything everywhere. Then if I need to, I'll go back, maybe take a bit of this away, maybe I want a little less here, maybe I want a bit more in a certain area, but that's basically all I want for plains. Then, let's say this area is a desert land, put like a main area, then maybe some places that came off from there, something like that. Here, let me put that in, and let me add a bit more just in general. I know takes a little while to do, and usually making maps can be quite tedious to do. They take a long time to make if you really want to fine-tune them to what you want, but in the long run it's very nice if you know what you want going into it. I know I've published a few mods, like I did a Planet of the Apes one where it was mainly a desert and some areas like that, and if you have like let's say you wanted to do a map of the United States or something like that, get a picture, bring it up here, and just look at it as you're creating it, and it'll be a great reference to see the type of things you can make. Alright, so next, think I'll put in a little bit of snow, just in the bottom sections. Just like that. Not too much, because I don't want this to be a really snowy place. Okay. Now, for now, I'm just gonna add in a bit hills. Sorry, not mountains. That'll be in a second. So once I've done that, and you can play around with this more in depth. I'm just doing a pretty basic run through of what to do here. So next, I'll put in a few mountains. Not a ton. I want to be this not super flat, but something kind of a randomish zones everywhere. So now that we've done that, if you want to take a look, you can hit the mini map, and this is what your map looks like from the playing perspective. So it'll give you kind of a good representation of like the types of games you've played and what they look like compared to this, because I know this looks different from this. So always be sure to check that out. Okay, next, features. Features are the different types of environments within the terrain. So if you want to add some ice up at the top, and I'm probably gonna end this video right after I just go over some of these. I'll have more tutorials in the series to come along soon. So be sure to check those out. Okay, so adding a few floodplains, a little bit of fallout. I don't know why I need that. Some forests, that'd be good. And I'm not making a very detailed area, but be sure fine tune yours as much as you can. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I'll put in some marshes, some jungles, then I'll probably be set for the time being. Or I'll put in a few atolls too. Oh man, there's a chunk over there. Oh well, I'll go back and edit that out. Alright, I'll put in some jungles. And if you guys have any suggestions for maps for me to make, I'll try to do either a time-lapse video of me making them, or I'll publish them on Steam. My Steam account is Burnt Out Ash, same as my YouTube channel. At the moment, it did get hacked, but I'm seeing if I can recover it, so I'll be posting them from that channel. So, okay, so now that we're done with that, we can move on to the content types. Now, I don't really ever use this. This is if you want to designate certain places as certain continents. Now, I almost never use this tool. You don't really need to, but if you do this sort of thing, it designates this, like if I just did this zone, this is America, let's say. Then this could be Asia right here, just something like that. And that just designates the area. You don't have to do that. I rarely use it. And then cultural borders, I don't ever use. And then revealed, if you do a little area, it reveals the area already to the players who are playing. So, okay, so I'm gonna cut the video here. This will be creating the base of the map. So I'll be posting the second part of my tutorial. That'll be on rivers and the plopper, which is putting on features. So be sure to check that out. Okay, this has been Burnout Ash. Thanks for watching.